Let's go. Awesome, guys. Hey, thanks for having me on, John. Thank you for putting this together, and everybody in Reside today that's going to participate and contribute. I just wanted to say thank you, and for the folks that are watching us, thank you for your patience while we had some technical difficulties. I wanted to go over three main points today that I think every agent should very well understand, whether you're an established agent or whether you're an agent that's just starting out. Those three subjects for me today are going to be mindset, daily schedule, and some talk tracks, some one liners that you can use today to get people to stay on the phone a little bit longer with you. So, as we are having some technical difficulties today getting started, something came to my mind, and I just want to start with this. If you're not failing, you're not trying. But let's talk a little bit about mindset. One of the things, mindset is very, very important. It's either going to drive you to the next level, or it's going to put a roadblock in the way that you're not going to be able to get through. And one of the mindset principles that I live and breathe by is you can or you can't. You decide. It's what you tell yourself. So we all have this thing called a reticular activating system. It's a filter in our brain that when we feed it ideas, it is going to look for instances in our life to support that idea. So, for instance, if anybody's ever been wanting to buy a new car, I want a brand new F 150 truck, I want a white F 150 truck. What happens is you start seeing white F 150 trucks all over the road. It's not that there's more white F 150s all over the road all of a sudden. It's your reticular activating system, the filter in your brain, filtering everything else out and bringing to surface, bringing to light that idea that you're feeding it. So you can or you can't. You decide is what you tell yourself. If you tell yourself you can do something, your reticular activating system is going to look for instances in your life and throughout your day to support that idea that you can do it. Vice versa, if you tell yourself you can't, your reticular activating system is going to look for instances throughout your day to tell you, see, I told you you can't do that. Another thing I want you guys to understand is nothing changes if nothing changes. So my team and I have started watching some motivation videos in our team meetings on Tuesday, and nothing changes if nothing changes. If you don't make changes internally, if you don't make small tweaks, for lack of better words, to your day of your actions, then nothing will change. I want to lose weight. Well, if I don't start eating healthy and going to the gym, nothing is going to change. Well, I want to learn how to swim. Well, if I don't ever put on my swim trunks and jump into the pool, I'm never going to learn how to swim. So nothing changes if nothing changes. You got to remember this, guys. Change starts with you. A quick quote from Mike Tyson: discipline is doing the shit you hate, but doing it like you love it. And you got to have that mindset that everything we do in life that's worthwhile, all of the good things that we do are going to be hard. A feng shui rule, and I'm not too familiar with feng shui, so if I kill this, I apologize, guys. But if it's easy now, life is harder later. And if it's harder now, life is easier later. So if you do the hard work today, the prospecting, the follow up, the digging deep, the self discipline, the self education, the market awareness. If you do the hard stuff today, your life will get easier. But if you avoid the hard stuff today, your real estate career just gets harder and harder and harder because you get further and further behind. Get into action. Don't sit on the sidelines. Get into action. Don't sit on the sidelines. Get into action today. It starts today. It starts at the end of the Zoom. It starts today. You're going to learn some things today from all of us speaking that I know you're going to have some takeaways. Now, we're not expecting you to take everything and implement everything. That's insane. Take 2 to 3 things today that resonate with you and implement them into your business over the next 30 days. And in 30 days, when you've built the routine, you've built the discipline, come back and watch this again and take another 2 or 3 things and put it into your business. A couple quotes from John Sheplack. If you guys know who he is, if you don't, I encourage you to follow him on Facebook. Tiny hinges swing big doors. It's the little things that we do on a daily basis that make the biggest changes in the long run. Tiny hinges swing big doors. One more thing from John. I am going to do the same boring shit today that I did yesterday, and I'm going to do the same boring shit again tomorrow because it's the boring shit that got me here. Moving on to the next. I've only got a little bit of time. I'm doing good with time, John? All right. I want to talk a little bit about a daily schedule. I think so many of us, struggle with this. Like, what should my daily schedule look like? And I want to talk from a perspective of how I manage my day, how I encourage my agents to manage their day, and how I encourage you guys to manage your day. I hope that everybody would agree that us that are going to be on this training, for lack of better words, today, we've got pretty busy schedules, and I'm doing a lot. I'm still in production. I'm still helping buyers and sellers. I'm recruiting to grow my team. I'm helping develop my agents. I'm running an operations team. I'm running a company. I'm running an organization. We got lead gen. We got lead conversion. I could go on and on about the things that I have to tackle on a daily basis. And the only way it would be possible is if I follow a schedule and I stick to it day after day after day. Because eventually the schedule becomes routine for me. I don't even need to think about it. If I were to share with you my calendar, you could pick any future date in the year, and my calendar is already filled out. My days are the same days over and over. Now, like this is in the middle. I'm in California. It's 9:21 in the morning. This is in the middle of my prospecting time. There are times, there are exceptions to the rule where I'm allowed to introduce something into my day that might not have been planned. But 90%, 95% of the time, I want to stick to my schedule, because if I don't stick to my schedule, I start giving myself excuses. And those excuses will just multiply. I'll use the gym as an example. I'm not feeling well today. I'm tired. I'm this. I don't feel like going to the gym. Or we'll get back to prospecting. You know what? I had a bad day on the phone yesterday. I had some people saying some mean things to me. Oh, I didn't get as many people on the phone. In life, we can give ourselves excuses, or we can figure a way to go around it. And the easiest way I found to do that is to stick to a schedule. And if I start allowing myself excuses as to why I don't want to do something, tomorrow the excuse gets easier to make. And the next day the excuse gets easier to make. And before I know it, I'm no longer making excuses because I'm just not doing the work. I encourage everybody, this is you, in real estate, whether you're working for yourself or whether you're on a team, you are running your own business. It's your brand, it's your image. It's how the public, it's how the consumers see you. And so I've got to operate, whether I'm a solo agent, whether I'm growing a team, or whether I'm on a team, I have to operate my day as if this is my own business. Sorry, my light went off in my office, that I am solely responsible for. So every one of my days start at 8 a.m. In California, we're allowed to start making calls at 8 a.m. My day starts at 8 a.m. Now, I'm usually in here a little bit before. There's some days where I'm dropping the kids off at school. I got 5 kids. I got a big family. My day starts between 8 and 11 a.m. every day. I am prospecting. That is me reaching out into the database, new leads, leads that are under 30 days old, leads that are over 30 days old. I spend a minimum 2 to 3 hours every day reaching out to people and forming new relationships. You have to understand that conversations equal commissions. The more people I talk to, the more relationships I build. The more relationships I build, the more people that like, know me, and trust me. And the more people that know, like me, and trust me, when it comes time for them to engage in real estate, they are more likely to choose me as long as I'm doing the follow-up. If I met you guys today and we hit it off and I never called you again, you would say, well, I thought Justin and I really hit it off, but he must not like me very much. He never called me again. And how many of you guys do that with the clients that you meet out in the open, at an open house, door knocking, calling? You do all of this hard work to get them on the phone, to build that relationship, and then you ghost them like a bad habit. Every day between 8 and 11, I am prospecting. Every single one of my clients that I meet, I let them know, hey, John, thanks for taking the listing, man. I'm looking forward to getting your home sold. Just so you know, every morning between 8 and 11, I am prospecting. I'm trying to find more opportunities for you because you're going to be buying. I'm trying to find opportunities for my other clients, et cetera, et cetera. And I train, for lack of better words, my clients the expectations of my availability. So they know that between 8 and 11, I'm not going to take an inbound call because I'm not going to get distracted. How many of us say, hey, I'm going to prospect today at 8 o'clock, at 8:15, we take that inbound call. It's a client calling in with something that we didn't really want to hear, and now our whole day is a landslide. Now I can't get back on the phone and prospect because this negative news that I just learned mind screwed me, for lack of better words, and I can't get back into the rhythm. I pull a joke out with my clients. Listen, between 8 and 11 every morning, I am prospecting. So if the house is on fire, call the fire department, and I'll call you at 11:01. And when my clients call me at 9:45 in the morning, hey, Justin, I know you're prospecting right now, but as soon as you're done, can you give us a call? I have trained them the expectation. The same way that you would never fire a doctor, a dentist, a CPA, an attorney because they're not available. You want people that are busy. If your lawyer isn't busy, if your CPA isn't, if your doctor isn't busy, I would argue that they're not that good. And so allowing my clients to understand that between 8 and 11, I'm prospecting, it's letting them know that, hey, I'm busy. It's letting them know that, hey, I know how to manage my day. And it's also setting the expectation of why they might not be able to get me on the phone during that time. Every single day, it's 1 hour of follow-up. Now, I'm a follow-up boss user. I hope that the majority of you guys are. We use smart lists, ABC, hot, warm, cold, for lack of better words. It is my duty at the end of every day to make sure my list A, B, and C, and then I have a list for active clients, people that are in contract, people that I'm actively showing homes to, listings, etc., that every single day my list is at 0. Now, that doesn't mean I'm calling everybody every single day. That's another training for another day. We have a cadence. An A lead is somebody looking to purchase in the next 60. We call every week, every 7 days. I used to call every 3. And following this routine on a daily basis of 2 to 3 hours of prospecting and an hour of follow-up has allowed myself and my team to grow our business substantially. We are already on January 23rd, about 60% of the volume that we did for last year, and last year was a record-breaking year for us. We are on this pace because for the last 3 months of the year, October, November, and December, we stayed committed to sticking to a routine so that we'd have a good start for the rest of the year. And if that isn't you right now, that's okay. You still got time. But it starts with that mindset. You can or you can't. You decide. It's what you tell yourself. So what are you going to tell yourself at the end of the day? Can you do this or can you not? I know you can. That's why you're here. Every single day, 5 days a week minimally, you should be committed to 30 minutes of role play. 30 minutes of role play. When I started in this, in the real estate side of things, I started off in the mortgage industry first, but I came in as a real estate agent in October of 2014. I would go into large groups, Facebook groups. I would reach out to agents that I didn't know. I'd see agents on Facebook that I admired, and hey, do you mind role playing? Hey, can we role play? Hey, can we role play? Hey, can we role play? Some people will stay committed. Some people will stop showing up. It was a revolving door for me. But I always wanted to role play with people of different skills, people of different backgrounds, people in different areas of the United States, because when you're on the phone prospecting, that's what you're going to get. I don't want to role play with my best friend every day whose personality I already know and understand. I want to role play with strangers. And eventually I'm going to get to a point with that role play partner where we've helped each other to the fullest extent that we're going to, and now I need another role play partner. Think about it. A kicker, we're all getting ready for the Super Bowl. Most of us are. A kicker warms up his leg before he goes out and kicks a field goal. He's on the side of the field warming up his leg. A relief pitcher in a baseball game is back in the bullpen warming up his arm. Why aren't you warming up your skills on a daily basis with role play? And if you are, awesome, keep it going. And if you aren't, it's something you need to get started today. My afternoons are for appointments. This morning routine basically, and by the way, those 11 o'clock calls is part of my 1 hour follow-up. All those people that are calling me that their house is on fire, right? The call that can wait, but you think it can't wait. It can wait. Trust me, it can wait. My prospecting comes first because let's go back to what John Cheplak says. I'm going to do the same boring shit today I did yesterday. I'm going to do the same boring shit again tomorrow because it's the boring shit that got me here. That boring shit, that unsexy stuff is the prospecting. It's the follow-up. And without that, I don't have a business. How many of us have had a great month, we stopped the prospecting, we stopped the follow-up, and then all of a sudden we're dry for 1 or 2 months? It's because we stopped the activities that got us there in the first place. And like John said, our business now becomes a roller coaster. But if I can manage my day successfully and I prospect and follow up every day, I will have a business that slowly inclines. We don't want it to decline. Inclines, going up. But it starts with the fundamentals of me doing the things nobody else wants to do. That's what makes the great, is they're willing to do the work others aren't willing to do. And when you can put yourself in that position, great things will happen. I've never been fired by a client because I didn't answer my phone before 11. Never. I've never been fired from a client because they said, oh, wait, you manage your day? So, well, I'm not going to work with you because you manage your day too. I've never had that happen. You get fired from a client when your expectations aren't set, when you're not clear on what they should expect, when your communication isn't there. The fact that I'm communicating and letting them know what to expect makes it a better scenario for all of us, a better transaction for all of us. My afternoons are for appointments. 12 o'clock, I go to lunch. I bring a prep meal in. I actually eat in the office most days. If I need a stress relief, I get out of the office. There's times, guys, where I get those calls that aren't the funnest, aren't the best, and it throws me off tilt. One of those instances, I'm going to go take a walk outside. I'm going to go get my car and drive up the freeway and listen to the radio and roll my windows down. I'm in California. We can do that right now. Some of you guys are probably buried in snow. I do the things that I have to do to make sure that my mindset is right. You can or you can't. You decide. It's what you tell yourself. I tell myself every day that I can. Can I do everything? Absolutely not. Is there things that I need to do better at? Absolutely. Are there things that I fail at? Yes. But I tell myself I can do it. I tell myself I'm going to do it. Because then my mind, my brain, my reticular activating system is feeding me, telling me you can do this, you could do this, you could do this. My afternoons are for appointments. If I don't have any appointments for the day, and I usually reserve 1 to 5 p.m. for appointments, if I do not have appointments for a day, I'm back on the phone prospecting. I am back on the phone. How much prospecting should I do, Justin? As much as it takes. How many calls a day should I make? My goal for myself and for my agents, my goal is really 20 conversations a day. But the minimum conversation a day should be 10 conversations. It's 50 a week. It's 200 a month. Out of those 200 people, half of them will be somebody you want to work with or that wants to work with you back. You're now down to 100 people. Out of those 100 people, half of them will commit to working with you. You're now down to 50. Out of those 50 people, half of them will actually show up to the appointment or show up to the appointment with the lender. You're now down to 25. Out of those 25 people, half of them will actually turn in their docs to the lender. We're now down to 12 people. If I do a good job of pre-qualing people and asking them the right questions before I send them over to the lender, I should be able to get 75% of those people approved. There's 9. Can you not close half of that a month? And for some of us, those ratios are going to be much better, much higher. They're going to get more closings out of those same 200 conversations on a monthly basis. But it starts with the conversations. Remember what I said, conversations equal commissions. I've never walked into my office and had a check from somebody I never spoke to. If I want to make more money, I talk to more people. So if I don't have appointments in the afternoon, I am focused on more prospecting or self-development, training, getting into Reside, getting into Teachable for those of us that are in that group. Going out and finding environments where I can learn, maybe picking up a book. I don't allow my afternoon to become, well, I'm going to the beach. I'm going to go, I don't get my nails done, but I'm going to get my nails done. I don't, it's not time for me to relax. My day is not done. I have not accomplished my goals. If I'm not doing more prospecting or self-development, I'm out previewing homes in my marketplace so that I can gain market awareness. I live in an area, Temecula and Murrieta. We got Temecula wine country. I've only been up in this area since 2015. I grew up in San Diego. I know this area better than some people that grew up here. Why? Because I've spent the time driving around, getting familiar with the different neighborhoods, getting familiar with the different price points, getting familiar with what a house over in this neighborhood looks like compared to what a house over here in this neighborhood looks like. So that when somebody says, I'm looking for a house at this price, that's single story with RV parking in Murrieta, I automatically know to put you in West Murrieta. I'd automatically know that Spencer's Crossing in East Murrieta isn't going to be able to offer you those things because of the HOA. Having market awareness will make you better. And how great is it to know that when you go out and preview a home yesterday and all of a sudden you get that new lead on the phone and they're like, well, I'm looking at ABC Street, and you're like, well, I was just in that house yesterday and you're not going to believe it. It's absolutely stunning. Or I was just in that house yesterday. I'm going to be completely honest with you. It needs a lot of work. All of a sudden, you sound and look like the professional. Wow, you've already been in this home, the client thinks. Wow, you are somebody who knows their stuff. You are somebody who I want to work with. I think you guys need to understand that in order to operate at a high level, and I may get some pushback on this, it's a 60 to 70 hour work week. I'm in the office every day, 8 to 10 hours, Monday through Friday, and I work every Saturday. Sunday afternoons, I go to church on Sunday morning. I was out all day Sunday afternoon showing homes. Sundays, I like to try to take off. But I'm going to be honest with you. I mean, if we work a 10-hour day, 5 days a week, there's 50. I'm out showing homes or out doing an open house. My open houses start at 6 a.m. because I'm getting signs out at 6 a.m. I'm putting a minimum of 50 signs out. Wow, that's a lot of signs. I want people to see it. Wow, that's early 6 a.m. to put signs up. I want people to see it. I want people when they're getting up to go to their Starbucks or walking their dog to see my signs out to realize I'm working hard. I want people driving around all morning long seeing my open house signs that doesn't start till 1 o'clock because I'm creating energy. We did an open house a couple months ago. I had 135 signs out. I started Friday night. I had over 120 groups through that house in one weekend. We had almost 50 offers. Most people somebody comes to my open house, how'd you see it? I saw your signs. I saw your signs. We turned down this street. We saw your signs. We turned down another street. We saw your signs. We went down this street. We saw your signs. So we said, hell, we'll come by. It works, guys. You got to be willing to outwork the other agents in your marketplace. And I'm sorry, but the agent that puts 3 signs out, good luck. When there's 1 person, 2 people, 3 people showing up to your open house and you have 3 signs out, maybe it was your effort. Maybe it was your planning. When you have an open house at 11 a.m. and it's 10:55 and you're still putting signs out, might be a reason your open house wasn't the way you wanted it to go. Be prepared to put in the work. Be prepared to put in the hours. This is your business. There's a Subway down the street from me. I don't know. They're open 14 hours a day, I'm guessing. I think they open at 6. They're open till 10 at night. However many hours that is. Long. Every time I'm in there, I don't eat Subway. My son does. Every time I'm in there, the owners are in there working. I think for the last 5 years, I see other employees in there, but the husband and wife are always in there. I would say that they have pride in their business. I would say that they have pride in the way that their business is growing and the consistency that they have. Operate your business the same way. All right, I'm going to close with talk tracks. These are some one-liners, guys, that you can use today to keep people on the phone longer. Scripts, right? Scripts are dying. Scripts, I say this, they got to say this. Well, what if they don't say that? Then what do you do? And if you're a novice or just starting out, you'll get mind screwed. Trying to watch my words here. And all of a sudden you're like, oh, I don't know what to say. So I'm going to start with the first one. I have an agent. There are 3 questions I ask. Awesome, John. I understand that you're working with an agent. If I may ask you real quick, are you committed to that agent? 99% of people will say yes. That's fantastic. If I may ask, have you signed any agreements with them? 99% of people will say no. Obviously, if they say yes, it's have a nice day. If they say no, my next question is, John, if I may ask you, what is that agent going to do for you in this marketplace that other agents can't or won't do? Are you committed to the agent? Have you signed any agreements with them? What is the agent that you chose to hire going to do for you that other agents in this market can't or won't do? And most of them go, what? What are you talking about? Let me say something. This probably sounds familiar, right? They said, hey, I'm going to send you some listings. You look on Zillow, Redfin, Realtor.com, and if you see something, email it to me and I'll set up a showing. That sound familiar? And most buyers go, uh-huh. What you're doing is running what I call a reactive campaign. You're waiting for something to happen in the market by a competing agent that's going to make you compete with the rest of the market. It could take a month, it could take 6 months, it could take a year for that home to hit the market. What we do differently, and there's many things, but this is where I usually go with this. What we do differently is I run what I call you run a reactive campaign, I run an active campaign. What we are going to do is we're going to sit down, we're going to have a consultation, we're going to go over your needs, your wants, and your wishes. I want to get down to the detail. If you don't want carpet, I'm not going to bring you to a house with carpet. If you want to be an ABC neighborhood, I'm going to find the single stories, 3,000 square feet with ABC, what you're looking for. I'm going to call my title rep and say, hey, give me a list. And then what I'm going to do differently that I know most agents won't do is I'm going to go after the sellers. I'm going to go door knock them. I'm going to call them. I'm going to send them a handwritten letter. I'm going to send them a postcard. I'm going to upload their name, phone number, email, and address to Facebook, to Instagram, to Google, and I'm going to start running ads towards them. And I'm going to try to help you find an off-market listing, because if I find the listing before a competing agent does, I will bring it directly to you. And if you like it, we will hopefully be able to convince the seller to take your offer. And if you don't, well, then guess what, guys? I got a seller that's going to market. And if I find that off-market opportunity, guess what, guys? I just got my buyer into my listing, and that seller is going somewhere. And I just got 3 transactions because I was willing to do the work that most agents won't do. I'm a year out. I'm 6 months out. I'm 10 years out from buying or from selling. John, if I could ask you real quick, what changes next year to make it a better time to buy? 99% of the time, they've just got something in their way. It's usually credit, income, down payment based. Maybe it's the fear of the marketplace. What I'm trying to do when you say, hey, Justin, thanks for the call, but listen, man, I'm not going to be buying until the end of 2025. Hey, that's great. That's fantastic, man. Good thing is I'll still be in business at the end of 2025. But if I could ask you real quick, what changes at the end of 2025 to make it a better time to buy? And now they're going to give me their objection, their roadblock. And now I have an opportunity to fix it or help them navigate around it. If I don't ask, I'll never know what that objection is, and the next agent that gets them on the phone that's able to uncover that is going to win the client. I was just looking. Hopefully I'm not going too fast here. I know I'm running out of time. I was just looking. Many of us, when they say, hey, hey, John, saw you're on my website, blah, blah, blah. You know what? Thank you, Justin, for the call, but I was just looking. Most of us say, well, what is it that you're looking for? And they say, I don't know. I told you I was just looking. The question I like to ask is, hey, I appreciate you're just looking, John. If I could ask you real quick, now that you've been on the website, what have you seen so far that you like, and what is it that you'd like to stay away from? Now that you've been on the website, what have you seen that you liked, and what do you want to stay away from? And they will just, well, I saw this 3-bedroom and a cul-de-sac with a pool, but I hate HOAs. So what I'm hearing you say is you want a 3-bedroom and a cul-de-sac with a pool without an. They just gave me their criteria without even thinking about it. But if I hit them face on, oh, you're just looking, what are you looking for? They're always going to say, I don't know. I'm just looking. Told you, man. I'm just looking. I don't know. I already went over the reactive versus active campaign, and I'm going to go over the last thing, my intro. Having an introduction that is rock solid is important more than ever. If somebody answers the phone and you're mumbling, you know, like I'm talking about, like that broken robot speech, they're going to hang up on you. You got about 7 seconds, some will say up to 30 seconds to win their attention. My intro is pretty simple. Hey, John, this is Justin with the Bringas Home Team. I'm reaching out to you because you just visited our website from Google looking at some homes in Murrieta. And I wanted to reach out because I wasn't sure if you were just looking for fun or if you're starting to plan a move. They have to answer the question. You can't say no to it. If they tell me they were just looking for fun, guess what I'm going to say? Awesome. Now that you're on the website, what have you seen so far that you like, and what is it you want to stay away from? And if they say, hey, Justin, I'm starting to plan a move, I say, great. Tell me your story.